Hey there, music makers. I'm Hayes Griffin.
I'm Magnus and
And welcome to Mandolin Secrets Live, a bi-weekly show where we take a deeper look at what's happening in the world of mandolin secrets. Each episode, we're going to tackle our question of the week, unpack the latest mandolin secrets lessons, and answer your questions about mandolin, guitar, and all things music. In this week's episode, we're going to be discussing what's the best practice advice or helpful tip you've ever gotten, what's your favorite accessory for the mandolin, and we're going to have a listen to Magnus's new release, Mandolife. And in case you couldn't tell from the intro music there, Magnus is going to share the first sneak peek at some neat old guitars that he's got for us here. So excited to talk about all that stuff. Magnus, what do you got for us, buddy?
Well, here's another thing that I want to start with today. I want to talk about the question that I'm interested in here is, how old is your instrument? Do you play brand new instruments? Is this like a vintage style instrument, or how old is it? Because I tell you what, I just picked up a couple of like 100-year-old guitars that I got this a couple of years ago, and I want to like tell you all about this, and I'm actually going to show them. And it's not only one guitar. I have 4 guitars with me today.
Wow.
Yeah. But Hayes, how about like you? Do you want to, how do people find us? Where's the link and all that? Do you want to?
Exactly, yeah. So before we dive into everything that Magnus is talking about here, be sure to head over to mandolinsecrets.com/live to sign up for reminders about our upcoming live streams. And if you can't tune in live with us like today, never fear. Just search Mandolin Secrets Live on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to get updates when we release a new episode. We're officially out on all the major platforms now, folks, so we look forward to meeting you there on your preferred podcast listening platform.
Yes. And I started there by like telling you about my 100-year-old guitar, and here's the story about these guitars. I also realized, Hayes, that I'm actually flipping the side of my camera. So for everyone that is catching on the live stream live, it's a little bit messy today because I'm actually in a hotel room. Everyone can see that. And the reason for that is there's an amazing luthier and guitar repairer in the north of Sweden. He's specialized in these old Levin guitars and things like that. So I, to make the story short, my dad's friend, who is a guitar collector, he sold off a lot of guitars 3 years ago, and then he had it was actually 4 Levin instruments, very old ones, that he went to my dad and said, I have some guitars that I think Magnus will enjoy. What do you think? What about this? And there were 3 like this Parlour guitars, and they were very bad condition actually. But what was so special with these 3 ones, because all Levin instruments, Levin, it was a Swedish guitar and mandolin builder, and they all have the serial number to it, and these 3 guitars are this in a row, sort of.
Oh, consecutive. Oh, that's crazy,
yes,
man.
Yes, and that's very, very rare. So there's like some kind of collector's value to them also. But for me, I got 3 guitars and none of them were like good to play. And I was, so how do I treat them? And I decided to bring them to this guy. His name is Roger Häggström. And as I said, he's specialized in doing this. And he got also a long stock list. So I've been waiting for them for 3 years. And today I went up there to get them from him.
That is so fantastic, man. Well, I hope the wait was worth it on those instruments.
I got very mixed feeling, to be honest. First of all, during these 3 years, I tried to get rid of instruments. The 4th instruments my dad gave me was a Levin banjo, but also that one I sold. I sold a couple of electric guitars and some other instruments. So I kind of try to get through. And I've been all the time feeling those, because they've been in the back of my mind. I have those 3 guitars coming. And the thing is, I can, of course, sell 1 or 2. But the thing with these, they are like siblings, you know.
Exactly.
So it would
you can't split them up,
no,
right?
I can't split them up. And you know, but I did find one way to kind of find the solution that works for me. I've made like 3 different setups for all of them.
Ah, so they each have their own individual kind of use then,
Yes.
right?
So we got this one. Standard tuning, very like, this will probably be like a workhorse for me.
Yeah.
And
do some flat picking or some finger picking on it or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I had prepared some photos here also, but they are all gone now. But he basically takes them apart and puts them together like a new kind of instrument. And some people don't like this. Of course, some people want the original parts. But for me, I'm a musician and I want instrument that sounds good and plays well.
Yes.
So
I feel like that's kind of like the eternal debate, right? Do we modify it to keep the value, or do we modify it to actually play it, right?
Exactly.
So that's cool.
And so there's like a new fretboard. The how do you call it? The bracing is new inside the instrument and all that. New fretboard, new frets, new tuners. But the neck is original. And also, what is very cool with this instrument, because Levin, he learned to build instruments in the States. He was there in the late 19th century, picking up all the techniques, and he even brought instruments from there, of course. And he went back to Sweden and realized there's a market for this. So he started to create like in the style of the American guitar, but using Scandinavian woods. So it's birch in the.
You're kidding me! Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's birch in the necks and the sides and the spruce top. But so they're very, very unique in that way also.
Yeah, I've never seen a birch guitar, at least that I knew of. That's really cool.
Yeah, and of course it's like all solid woods and all that. And Roger, I got a lecture today, of course, but he's very passionate about it and he knows a lot about it. And what was I about to tell? Well, he said also he loves working with these because they are kind of, there's a lot of room for improvements because they're very easy to work with. Like you can detach them, you can kind of, and it's all solid wood. It's not like a modern guitar where you kind of are meeting epoxy glue and things like that, you know. It's so,
yeah.
But yes, so this is I guess this is the number one then, the standard one. I'm gonna pick up. So maybe you can describe what for people that are not seeing the room. Maybe you can describe what it looks like, Hayes, while I'm.
Yeah, exactly. So for everyone out there that can't see what's going on, Magnus actually has 4 guitars lined up in his hotel room here, and he's making a selection. We've got the middle one. They all look pretty similar, small-bodied style guitars. For those of you that are familiar with like early, you know, what I want to say, like early 1900 style guitars, it looks very similar to some that Gibson and Martin were making with slot peg heads, and that's an interesting kind of tailpiece that you're pointing to there right now, Magnus.
So this, and it was like this. So this is a twist. The guitar I just showed you, that has like a glued bridge, but this one has a floating bridge. So and that gives another sound, right?
Whoa, it almost sounds like a resonator guitar or something like that.
A dobro
yeah.
or something like that. So this one
Yeah.
I've set up to play some slide on it.
Gotta love that Swedish Delta blues sound, baby. You know, that's
And I never had a guitar set up for slide guitar, but now I have one. So, and for the people that are not familiar with that, basically I have raised both the bridge and the nut on this one. So it's a bit like hard to actually fret the notes on the fretboard, but to play it with an, I can put a little bit of pressure to the slide. So it makes very big difference actually than to so I'm gonna pick the third one.
Yeah. Let's grab number 3 here. So once again, for those of you folks that are just listening out there, we're grabbing another small body guitar. I assume this one's made from birch too. We got another slot peg head, but I think this one looks like this is another glued bridge guitar, right? Like, so another kind of standard type flat top guitar.
You can also see this one as this was cracked, the top on 2 places.
Oh yeah.
So it's
there's a big one there.
Yeah, and there. So he fixed that one, and this was all in pieces, and also even the bottom had shrunk. Can you say that shrinked? No.
Yeah, shrunk is totally right. Yeah.
So he actually had to glue a little middle piece to it to make it fit. So it really had shrunk a lot. And this one, again, I for a couple of years I played a lot of Dadgad guitar and some open tunings, but I never had I kind of quit doing it because it's so messy, tuning the guitar up and down all the time.
Yes.
But here is a.
What a deep, rich tone out of such a small guitar, right? Like that sounds amazing with that open tuning. What tuning are you in there, just out of curiosity?
That is this one that I refer to, Dadgad.
Yeah, Dadgad.
And he even made like it intonated for this tuning, so it's very set up for that. So that gives me actually a reason for keeping all 3 of them.
Yeah. So I guess you just have to, you know what I mean? That's it's been settled.
Yeah. Okay, we're staying very long on this subject, but I gotta show you. I have the last guitar also, because this 3 I got from, and I had another also very old guitar that I got from my grandmother's when she died, and it's from my grandmother's aunt who had this one.
Oh.
And when I brought these 3 guitars to him, I thought, well, then I have to fix this last one also. So I'm gonna show you that.
Yeah. Looks like we've got another glued bridge guitar coming up.
Guitar. It's a little bit different. Oh.
Yeah.
And people can rest assured I will make YouTube videos also showing all this instrument. But
please, yes.
This this one is more like easy driven. It's very like, and it's full of high end and treble. It's also, this one got spruce back and sides.
Oh wow! So it's softwood back and sides. Interesting. That's cool.
And Roger told me this is a German-made guitar, probably around in the turn of the century, basically. Very nice one.
Yeah, I love the kind of mustache bridge on that one too. Yes. That's really neat design.
Mm-hmm. And it's got a very, very, very V-shaped neck, very thin neck. Yeah. This instrument, it's like a butterfly. It's so light-weighted.
Yeah. That usually is a sign of what I want to say, like a powerful instrument, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that.
And I'm gonna also include this in my videos. I can even see because we have some very interesting guitar content coming up on Mandolin Secrets, and I can even see one of these guitars can be like a little featured video series with kind of like slide guitar or DADGAD chord voicings or whatever it could be.
I think that's definitely in the future. I'm excited to see all that new content, man. That's a great collection you have there.
Yeah. Karen actually asked me, how many instruments do you have, Magnus and Hayes? I own 3 mandolins, 1 octave mandolin, 1 cithern. I used to have 2 acoustic guitars, but with these ones, I guess 3 of them are mine, and the other one is my wife, and so I won't count. I got 3 more acoustic guitars then.
So yeah, you're over 10 instruments there for sure. I think I'm somewhere too. Actually, I'm looking at my rack right now, so I've got 1, 2. Yeah, I've got a banjo, an electric mandolin, an electric guitar, an archtop guitar, 3 dreadnought guitars, and then my Isabel mandolin and my upright bass. So I'm sitting at 9 instruments right now, I guess, with my red diamond on the way. So that'll make 10.
Wow, that is a nice addition. And I mean, a lot of gear talk today. And I remember one of the questions, like, what is your favorite accessory?
Yeah. That was a really good thread on the Facebook group and our internal community. There was this really cool answer by a guy named John Hall. It was actually on the Facebook thread. He said his favorite accessory for the mandolin was this little set of small magnets that he uses to hold the ball ends on his tailpiece while he's changing the strings. So you know this, Magnus, how like when you're changing the strings, the loops can sometimes pop off. You have to hold them there.
Yeah.
But he's got this little series of magnets that apparently keeps the strings on those little posts so they don't like fly off whenever he's changing the strings.
Very handy. I never seen. Wonder if it's John's own idea or someone solved that problem before him.
Yeah. Either way, I'm gonna steal the idea. That's for sure.
Very good.
But yeah, that's great. Like, what would you say your favorite accessory is for the mandolin?
It's definitely the shoulder strap.
Yeah.
I see people playing without a shoulder strap, but my philosophy is to kind of almost always use a shoulder strap, and the basic reason for that, the mandolin is a small instrument. It can be quite difficult to balance somehow.
Yes.
But with using a shoulder strap, you don't have to like hold up the instruments with your fretting hand. So it makes like fretting hand like connect from different parts of the neck more fluently and easily, I would say. And so here's also one thing. I'm very like straight up with this, because we see a lot of my mandolin heroes. They're also using little footstool to rest their mandolin on that one, like that.
I've got mine right here.
You got one right there. And I'm very straight up with it. I'm not fancy the footstool. And the main reason is I have guitar colleagues who got serious problems out of spending hours with a footstool.
Really?
Yeah. Some so that the hip is tilted when you're sitting like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, so your hip is tilted, and so they have so much trouble out of that, so that they are very even restricted in their physical abilities.
That's crazy. I never thought about that. I use mine predominantly for like both feet when I'm sitting on a tall seat, so my feet touch the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then you will not tilt the.
Yeah, be out of balance, right?
Exactly. But and I mean that is a problem, mostly for classical guitarists, to spend a lot of time in that position. And so I know there's also other solution, like a little pillow people are resting the guitar on, or some stand in. But the way I using a mandolin strap, I get out of that problem. So I'm keeping it at the length where I'm actually the mandolin is in the same position while sitting and standing.
And I think that's a great thing to do. I had a teacher kind of point that out to me when I was in graduate school, to kind of, it's almost like your body should just be in its natural, like, aligned sitting position, and the instrument is integrated into that, right? As opposed to like moving your body to, like, you know, get comfortable with the instrument.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, and it's all about ergonomic. Now, how would you?
Yeah, ergonomics. Yeah, ergonomics. That's great.
So even if the shoulder strap doesn't improve your sound or anything like that, in the long term, I think it's a very good accessory, because it will serve your body very well.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. That's funny, because you're with a lot of people there. I think, you know, I noticed a trend that, like, the top 3 responses that I was seeing in terms of people's favorite accessory was the strap that they were using, and various different kinds, the pick material that they were using, and then the tone guard, which I know you love and I love too. Yes. So,
there's a number of great accessories.
Yeah, but that magnet thing was a new one, and I'm looking at the comments here on the Facebook thread, and Jimmy Mahoney, we can always count on him. He says, marketing opportunity, Magnus Magnets. I think that's got to happen right there.
Yeah. We can put some nice logos to it and nice colors.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, I have a CNC machine. We could hook that up, you know? So that's that's great.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy, you can always count on him for a laugh.
Yeah, and Ian, he likes his armrest, and that's also something we've been talking about here. And armrest is for sure a great accessory.
Yeah, that is a good one. That question kind of, for some reason I feel like I'm being steered toward the other question of the week that we had before this, because you were kind of just giving some tips on why having a strap is important. And the question that I asked before was, what is the best practice advice or helpful tip you've gotten? Yeah. And I think what you just said qualifies as one of the best practice tips that I think I've gotten already, to make sure you have the mandolin strap so that it's the same whether you're sitting or standing. I think that's a perfect kind of thing that people should file away there.
Yeah. I think that's. I'm thinking, what were some of the answers you got from it, or do you want to share one of your favorite tips?
There were definitely some good ones. The one that I liked the best, that I saw pop up a couple different ways, people phrased it different ways, but essentially it's just like keep coming back to the mandolin or guitar, whatever you're playing. Keep coming back to it regularly. Do it every day, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good tip because, you know, I know you've said this before too, right? Like 5 minutes of practice every day is way better than 2 hours of practice every 2 weeks.
Yes. In terms of progress making, it makes total sense what you just said. And my best tip, it's actually very connected to this, but it's even more concrete than that. It's so simple that it may seem silly, but I was taught this, and it actually helped me. And that is to keep the mandolin visible. Not put it in the case under your bed, sort of. Keep it, if you have the possibility to keep your instrument visible, so you're actually tempted to pick it up. It's almost like it's there calling for your attention. And that is the thing that can really help you to get into that habit of picking it up for 5 or 10 minutes a day. It really works for me that way. It's almost like you're stumbling on the mandolin every now and then because you're just passing it, and that is actually I would rank that as the best the most helpful tip that I've gotten, actually.
I think that's a great one, man. Like I don't know if anyone ever gave me that tip, but I definitely always what do I want to say, like I have an instrument within arm's reach at any given point in time. Like there's my Fender Telecaster is my upstairs guitar because I keep all of my instruments in the basement. So I have the Telecaster in the living room, and then I've got my mandolin right next to my desk in the office. You know what I mean? So I think that's a great point to bring up. You know, if you present yourself with the opportunity to play like that, you're going to do it more.
Yeah.
It's a fact,
yeah,
right?
And it's a tip that I'm regularly sharing, and I people have thanked me for it. Even so, it's such a simple one, but people say thanks. Now I'm actually playing my instrument more often now than before, because I used to keep it. And here's also a thing: if we care about our instruments, we want to protect them, right? And so it's a natural instinct kind of to actually store it in a case so it won't get harmed by anything like that. But in the end, they are made to be played, and I think
and I think you're onto something great. It's like, would you rather pay to have your instrument repaired a couple times a year because you had it out and you were playing it a bunch, or would you rather not play and not get any better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can even put it so draw it to the end where, do you want to be an instrument owner or a music maker?
Yeah. And I think that's perfect.
And also this also, every time I share this tip to keep it visible, it also comes up about humidity and things like that. And I'm living in a very dry environment in winter time, so that means I'm actually nighttime storing it in my case with a humidifier. But I can sometimes I just like bringing the mandolin up. Even if I'm not going to play it right now, I'm just making it visible so it's there when I feel like playing it. So
yeah, it can almost be part of your like morning routine, right? Like just get the mandolin out of the case, right, and put it there.
Yeah,
you know?
and or maybe just even bring out the case so you actually see the case, sort of. So there's we all have to find our way of doing it, but yeah, we can see the point.
Yeah, or you guys can just be like Magnus and buy 3 mandolins that are consecutive serial numbers, and you'll never have to worry about having an instrument to play again, right?
And the best thing with getting instruments that are over 100 years old, these are so dry this time. So it's something I talked about with Roger. He thinks it's no worry for me to actually keep these outside the case without a humidifier wintertime, because they've been first of all, they've grown in this environment, and they've been around for quite a while. So I don't have to be too concerned. It's not a very big concern. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think that's promising anyway.
Yeah, I would love an update on that next winter to see how those guitars are doing.
Yeah.
I've heard similar things with vintage instruments too. Like I have my grandmother's 1949 Martin D18. It's definitely not as old as your instruments, but it's an older instrument. But I've had some luthiers say that it's had enough time to like cure and dry out to where you don't have to worry about the humidity with that one as much. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear your experience later on that. We'll have to do an update on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure. I want to also...
Yeah, man.
One thing I wanted to get into, I just released a new track the other week.
Yes.
For everyone listening, this spring and summer, or this year basically, I decided to release a number of my original tunes, both like music video on YouTube, major release on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes, and everywhere, and also tutorials for all these tunes inside Mandolin Secrets Academy. And some of you might know that the first one was a tremolo tune called Tremology, and now here the other week I published a tune called Mandolife. And I want to play that, not the whole song, but here's 2 minutes of my new track, Mandolife, and the video as well. The video is actually made by my brother. Here it is. Yeah. So I'm sending today from a hotel room, and the internet connection isn't the best here. So it was like a slow motion video there. People were
just another excuse to get people to go to the YouTube channel, the Mandolin Secrets YouTube channel, and watch the full video again, though, because it's an amazing video. Your brother's name is it Martin?
Yeah,
is that
Martin.
right? Yeah, he did such a great job with that video, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing it also, and I think it's for sure the best looking music video I've done so far. And so my brother, he's in the movie industry, and not a cameraman or anything. He's like a stunt man and stunt coordinator, but he also knows he knows all part of video and filmmaking basically. And the reason for that, he started out using our dad's old like camcorder in our garage when he was like 13, 14 years old. So he really learned it from from scratch basically.
From a young age. Well, hopefully he wasn't practicing stunts in the garage either at that point in time. So
he was. I tell you what, it was all action movies.
That's great.
There's a really nice series of movies. It was the first one was called The Run, and then there was The Run 2, The Run 3, The Run 4, and it's basically my brother and his friend Gustav, who's like, running in different environments, doing crazy things.
I would love to see that series. That sounds awesome, man.
And two things I want to mention. First, when filming this video with Martin, we also filmed a video for the upcoming song that is Walls of the Dreams, and that has also a nice touch to it. I don't want to screw in the surprise, so we'll see, but there's a nice touch to it, I can say as much as that. And for Mandolife, I want to let you know that this is a tune that I almost had forgotten about, but people might even recognize it. So that we're using like some theme from this tune for the podcast. Like the intro and outro music, and when we I kind of, so this is a tune that I actually wrote to my friends when they were getting married in 2013 it was, played at their.
So you've been sitting on that tune a while then.
Yes,
you've had that one. Yeah.
And I tell you, it's actually like an finger-style guitar tune from the beginning.
Yeah, I've heard you play it on the guitar before, and it's awesome.
But I think it's... I like it in this mandolin version, and also the fact that when I recorded it, I played in 2 different octaves, and when playing the melody for this one in the low octave, it's very like beginner-friendly, easy to play kind of tune. So it's worth checking out if you want to try something that is, and I say it's easy to play because you never have to go into position playing or things like that. It's basically D major scale.
No, it's as someone who has watched the video and learned the tune from that lesson, I can agree that if you're looking for something that's maybe not quite like a Chris Thiele level yet, if you're if you're beginning in your mandolin playing, this is a great tune to start with, and it's just such a simple, beautiful melody. I love editing the podcast every week because I get to listen to this tune. So.
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Hayes, saying that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm very happy with that. I don't know if there's anything more for me to add. Is there anything you want to add before wrapping up the show, Hayes?
No, I think that about wraps it up for this episode, folks. But we will be back in 2 weeks, I believe, right, for another show. So once again, just head to mandolinsecrets.com/live for more information on how to keep up with us there. And if you haven't had a chance yet, definitely also go over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/mandolinsecrets. There you're going to find the video for Mandolife as well as the lesson on the melody to Mandolife. So that's a great place to keep up with all of the stuff that we're doing as well.
Yes, and as always, the last thing I want to say here is, first of all, thanks for everyone showing up live. I think we had some kind of record today with people listening to the Mandolin Secrets live in real time, sort of.
Yes,
so,
we did.
Yeah, thanks everyone for showing up, and for everyone out there listening, always remember, be a music maker.